there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Crafty Kathy. I'm the owner and creator of Kids Vintage Farmhouse in beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I am tickled pink that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. This week, I noticed that everybody was really liking that Dollar Tree hack video that I did last week, so I did another one. But on this time, we're going to work with wallpaper. Dollar Tree has a ton of different colors of wallpaper, the large sizes that are 11 by 18, all the way down to the smaller sizes that are about an 8 by 8. So I can't wait till you guys see what I come up with. Let's get into it. I recently got to visit a brand new Dollar Tree in my area. It's in Dayton, Tennessee, and it's huge. They had everything. And when I got down the aisle where all the different wallpapers were, my mind was just so full of DIYs, and those wheels were turning, honey. But before we start our first DIY, let me just show you some of the wallpapers that I grabbed. I got a few that look like plank wood almost, or I guess you could call it shiplap. And then I got this beautiful one that's kind of like a geometric gold pattern. This one reminds me of jungle theme. And then this one makes me think of a man. I don't know. But this one is my absolute favorite with the beautiful florals on it. And then I got two smaller ones that I didn't even use in this video. So while I was in Dayton, I hit up the thrift store and it was half price day. And I got this IKEA frame for just $1.50. And it is an 11 by 18, which is the perfect size. That's the exact same size of the bigger wallpapers. So what I'm going to do is use my very most favorite paint. It's the color called Apothecary. It's by DIY Paint, and it's clay-based. It usually only takes one coat because it's so thick, so you actually save money when you use this paint. And this color is one of the prettiest colors I have ever seen. So I just went around my frame, and I gave it one coat inside out and made sure that I got the inner corners also. Then I'm going to grab one of the pieces of wallpaper that I said is my favorite one. This is newer and it is gorgeous. Now, if you will look on the back, you'll see that there's a little place that makes it very easy to peel off. You just peel off that backing and then peel off the smaller backing. It's so easy. And all I'm going to do is flip this around and put this on the inner portion of my frame. Now, my frame doesn't have a glass, but I found that I like it better when I don't use the glass. And when I sell my pieces, the people don't want the glass either. So if there's a little bit of a hangover, which there is, all you have to do is grab an X-Acto knife and just cut it down. It peels right away very easily, and then we have a gorgeous frame just the way it is. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is grab this picture that I also got at the Dollar Tree. It's an 8 by 8, and on the back of it, it just says wall art, and it's usually in the section where the picture frames and that type stuff is. I found this one with a beautiful blue bird on it, and you guys know how I love my bird decor. And I'm just going to put a simple stencil on it. This is one of my favorite stencils that has How Great Thou Art on it, which is my favorite song of all time. And all I'm going to do is take some of my blue paint that I already have mixed up. This is a combination of the DIY paint color called Hey Sailor and the Waverly color that's black called Ink. I was just trying to make kind of like a navy blue color for some 4th of July decor that I had done. Well, this just happened to match that picture beautifully, so I'm going to use it. The way that I stencil is make sure that there is hardly any paint on my stencil brush, and I like to pounce. Now, when I'm pouncing, I make sure that I hold it still so it doesn't move around. And when you pounce up and down and you have very little paint on your brush, you're going to get a perfect stencil every time. Now, I don't know about you, but it drives me crazy when I'm stenciling and there's pieces that aren't connected together or my words are not connected right. So I just use a very small detailed brush that I get from Amazon, and they're in my Amazon store if you want some, and I just connect my words back together because it looks more natural to me. Now I'm going to place my little bird picture on the front of my larger one, and I just draw like a little mark so I will know exactly where to go. I'm just going to use my hot glue, and I forgot to take the little hanger out of the back, so I popped it off and then I put it right down in the middle. And I hope you like this first one. I think it's beautiful, simple, and elegant.
I wanna jump around when I think about yesterday. Your smile, your style so fly, my oh my. As time stood still, I got the urge to steal a kiss, and so I did. Now I'm embarrassed, but just a little bit. Oh, there must be gold on those lips.
DIY number 2. I'm going to use these 2 pieces of MDF board, and I found them down the Crafter Square aisle. And I'm also going to use 2 of the little house shapes, and these have like a little checkered pattern on them and a heart, which is so cute. But we're first going to focus on these 2 pieces of wood here. I'm just going to take my color Apothecary, and I'm going to go heavy-handed in the middle and then kind of fan it out on the edges. That way some of that brown peeks through. I'm just kind of doing a messy coat on both of these. Now, it may not bother you one bit that these have this gingham print on it. It's almost like a fabric, and then it also has the little piece of wood for the roof there. Well, I didn't want either of those on there, so I just used my hot tool, and I got that glue really hot, and then I used this large scraper that I had to kind of go up under it and just pull it off of there. And I did that to both of them, took them outside and sanded them down smooth. And then when I brought them back inside, the side that I just pulled that off of, I'm going to paint with the color Apothecary. I did the sides and the bottom parts of these. There's no need to paint that opposite side because it's going to be covered up with wallpaper. And then I'm just going to use the piece of wallpaper that's almost like a jungle print. Now what I did was lay my 2 pieces down, and I'm going to put these on the side that I did not paint. So what I did was just pulled off my wallpaper, the sticker part, and I'm going to lay these down, and I'm going to go around them with my X-Acto knife and then just rip the excess away. Then to make the edges and the sides perfect, you can just use a little sanding block. I used my little hand sander only because it's really quick and to the point. Now I've got a little dowel that I grabbed at Walmart, and I already have it cut down to the size that I need. Now, if you remember, my little houses already had 2 holes drilled in the top of them. I just used the same size bit that my little dowel was. And all I'm doing here is using what's left on my brush of that Apothecary, and I'm just kind of dry brushing it on this little dowel. I'm going to find the little area at the top of the house where the hole is, and I'm just going to kind of push gently, not hard because we don't want that wallpaper to come out, and it's going to show me the exact shape that I need to cut. And I just made like a little slit with my X-Acto knife and then went through with my dowel to make sure that my holes are going to be able to be used. Now we're just going to put this together, and if you haven't already guessed, it's just like an old-timey looking toolbox. And what I'm going to do is use some Titebond wood glue, which I think it is the best wood glue, and I'm also going to use a combination of my hot glue. Now you don't want these 2 glues to touch, so I did put the hot glue down one side and then the wood glue like on the side of it so that they wouldn't touch. And I'm just putting these 2 pieces together, and as I did, I realized I did not paint the one top of that side there, and I just put a little bit of glue on my dowel so that I can put it together in the little holes. It was easier for me to lay it up on its side as soon as everything was stable enough to stand still. Then you can see how I did my glue and my hot glue going down the sides here. And then I just placed the other side on and stuck the little dowel in. Now I've got to create a bottom for this, and I totally forgot to buy it, but if I would have remembered in the store, I would have just grabbed another one of the pieces that I used for the side. So I quickly painted that one side so that everything would look cohesive and nice. I'm going to use this beautiful transfer book that I got from my friend Lori over at Milton's Daughter. This one is called Bungalow. And you see why I was reminded of this transfer book. And I haven't used it yet. She sent it to me a while back ago, and I just didn't know what to do with it because it's kind of like a jungle theme, and I didn't really have any DIYs that I could use this on. Now this comes with 8 different pages of beautiful illustrations, and I love their transfers because they are perfect every time. And if you're interested in buying any of the IOD products, the molds, inlays, stamps, anything that they sell, I will leave Lori's information down below so it's easy to find. She's at www.miltonsdaughter.com, and if you use the code CraftyCathy10 on your first purchase, you get 10% off. And what I'm going to do is just rip this one page off because I want the bird and the flower. Now, it doesn't exactly have to go on there the way that it looks on the transfer. So what I'm going to do is cut each piece out. I want my flower to be in the background. And if you've never used a transfer before, they're super easy. They come with this little plastic tool that helps you to get it off onto your project. And all you do is just peel that white backing off, you lay it down, and you rub that tool across it. And I like to pull the edge of the paper up because it helps to create a wave, they call it, where it just kind of comes off very easily. Then you rub the paper that it came off of all over the top of it, and that's called burnishing it. And all that means is that it's just getting a good connection with what you just put it down on. Now I want my little bird to be in the forefront. So when I got him down exactly where I wanted him, I'm doing the exact same thing with him and rubbing that tool over him, and it just comes off so easily, and then I'm just going to burnish it just like I did the other piece. Then I just grab my X-Acto knife and I'm going back through so that the little grooves in that piece of wood will stick out like they were before, because I just thought that that looked really nice. You can keep them covered up if you want to. It's just personal preference, but I really like the way it looks whenever it's, cut with the X-Acto knife, and you can see the lines very vividly. Now, since I didn't take in account that I needed a bottom for this, I had to search around, but luckily all the Dollar Tree stuff are just about the same size. So I did find a piece of wood that kind of matched. And I'm just going to place this on the bottom. And then I just filled this with flowers, and I hope you like this one. I think it's gorgeous.
Well, I want to take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And I want to take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. I come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. Coffee pot is nice and hot. We can sit in our underwear. Tell me about the dreams you had last week, swimming all around with the fish in the sea. Come sit down with me in a rocking chair.
Now for DIY number 3, I've been needing just like some kind of little decor out by the pool. You guys know we finally got our doggone liner put in the pool that we've been waiting for forever. So I want to make it look real beachy and pretty. Now, I love this one paper that has the flowers on it, so I chose it, and I'm going to place it down on this beautiful plaque that I got from the Dollar Tree. But first of all, I could just kind of use my fingernails and pushed around so I would get the pattern that I needed to cut, and we're just going to pull the backing off and just place it right down on this sign. Now we're going to work on the Mermaid Mama. Now, of course, this is very beach themed, and I don't do a lot of beach themed stuff, so I was kind of excited about working with Little Mermaid. Now, I took that little hanger off because we're not going to need it. And the way that I fill in the holes from the Dollar Tree is I just take a piece of tape and put it on the back, and then I just grab the Dollar Tree spackle, nothing special, and I'm just going to put some of that right in the front part, and you just kind of pack it in there as you rub it across, and it will create a smooth surface. And then when it's totally dry, in about 15-20 minutes, I just kind of sand it off if need be. Then I'm just going to grab that navy blue paint that I had from earlier, and it has a distinct line where the bottom part of her body is, where her little fins are, and I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit more color in the middle and almost kind of dry brush all the way down to the very bottoms of her fins. Then I'm going to grab the DIY paint in the color called Prom Queen, and I'm going to go mostly around the bottom, kind of light in the middle, and then I'm going to use a wet baby wipe, and this is going to create like an ombre effect almost, I guess you could call it. I'm just basically mixing these two colors together to get different shades of that blue. And then I take my little angle brush that I love to use, the little detail brush, and I'm just going to outline over her fins. That'll just kind of bring a little highlight to it and just a little something different. I've got this small welcome sign that I got at Hobby Lobby. I get them when they're half off, so I only paid 75 cents for it. I love to get all these different sayings in their wood pile section because they really come in handy in times like this. Now, I just went over it with that color that I had on my brush. First, I did the navy blue, and then I kind of went in with that color Prom Queen to lighten it up a little bit. Now, I'm going to use my spray stain, and this is called Vintage Photo. That's the color of it. It's made by Tim Holtz, and I get this at Hobby Lobby. I just sprayed a little bit on a baby wipe, and I'm very lightly going all around the rim of this picture and on the sides so that it will give it a beautiful stained effect. And I absolutely love the shade of Vintage Photo. I also used that stain that was on the baby wipe to like shade in the mermaid because she's in the sun all day, so she has a beautiful golden tan. I'm going to use the color by DIY Paint called Liquid Sunshine for her hair, and I just went all over it with my brush, and then I used the baby wipe to kind of lighten it up a little bit because I didn't want it to be like crazy blonde, but I wanted it to be a beautiful blondish color. I'm going to grab my favorite off-white color by DIY Paint. It's called Beadboard, and yes, I got the bigger can this time. I am really show dogging it. I'm just going to put a little bit of that white on the end of my little detail brush and go over that little starfish that's in her hair. I decided to go over all the fins on her body once more and just outline them. They still have that darker blue color in them, but I thought that they would look good if I just kind of outlined them with this white color. And then I'm also just going to kind of dry brush over that welcome sign because I wasn't really digging that blue color. Now we're going to put our sign together. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the top and on my mermaid, and I'm going to place her on the top. I'm going to put my little welcome sign down on the very bottom right-hand side. And then I grabbed 2 succulents from the Dollar Tree and I pulled them off their stem. It's very easy to do that, and I just stuck them on the sign. The one succulent was kind of almost like a mint green color, and it was driving me crazy because it didn't really go with the sign. So what I did was just took that color Prom Queen, that light blue color that I have, and I used my little detail brush and I painted that succulent. Since they're made from plastic, they're very easy to just paint and get them any color you want. And there she is. Anytime you're in Tennessee, you're invited over to my house for a nice, refreshing swim.
She thinks I'm a little lazy. I think she's a little crazy. We like summer and we like spring, watching wrestling in the ring. She ain't shy, she speaks her mind, tough as nails and smooth as wine. We burn hot as kerosene, baby, we got our own thing. She ain't skinny and I ain't tall, and that don't bother us at all.
DIY number 4 is very short and sweet and simple. I've got this little drawer that I finally found at the Dollar Tree. They've been out for a while, but I finally got my hands on one. And I'm just going to take the screws out of both sides of these and take the little fronts off. And for the wallpaper that I picked out, I already measured, and it's going to need the whole little strip there that you can bend back and peel. And I just cut it down real quick, and we're just going to wrap that around this box very simply. I picked the one that has that beautiful geometric gold pattern because I absolutely love it, and it is the perfect size to go around this box. So all I did is very gently wrap it all around my box. Then I'm just going to use those tiny screws that came with it and put that small front piece back on. And like I said, this is on the front and the back of my little box. It just gave it a quick little facelift. It's just something a little different. Sometimes just a small little change or upgrade can take a Dollar Tree item to the next level. Now I've got these clickable stamps that I got at Michael's, and I love these things. They literally click together so that everything is cohesive and nice looking, and I just put a piece of paper in there and clicked the word home. I hope you like this one. I think it's sweet.
When your soul is lonely, sad and blue, ain't got no love and shoulders to lean on, there's always a sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, and all your worries go away. Go across the river and you'll be fine. Go counting winners.
If you stuck with me through this whole video, I just want to say thank you for crafting and spending a little time with me today. And I would hope that you would hit that subscribe button and become a part of our family here on YouTube, because we would love to have you. And if you would, give me a thumbs up, because that really helps me out on YouTube. It helps them to push my videos out there to people who've never seen me before, and it tremendously helps the channel. And don't forget, I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and I would love for you to come over and support my other channels. And one last thing, since it's summertime, I'm doing my videos at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays and Thursdays, and I hope to see you back for the next one, and I will be seeing you soon, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. If you did enjoy this video, I would be tickled pink if you would click the button on the right and watch the next one. I love you and God bless you until we meet here again. I hope that you have a great week, my friend. Take care.